This is Mainstream Metaphysics with your host, Nick Newmont.
Hey there, it is a rainy Tuesday night in Los Angeles, February the 20th, 2024. We're almost 2 months into the year. Welcome to Mainstream Metaphysics. I am Nick Newmont. With me tonight is Selena Culp.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we sit here on this night, and some of us that are of a certain number on the calendar remember an old song by Brooke Benton, A Rainy Night in Georgia. And wow, it is like that. It is coming down. So for those of you that love the rain, enjoy it, because we're getting a big drink. Anyway, tonight Selena is on, and she ironically, she was supposed to be on a couple weeks ago, and I didn't do a show, and the topic of tonight's show is prevention. So we'll get into all that and all her little toys and tools and everything that Selena brings and understands and has fun with, you know.
Yeah, all the great doTERRA products that help my family stay healthy, well, and prevent too many trips to the doctor's office.
I want to say hi to Audrey watching. And Lisa Allen. Hey, Lisa.
Oh, hello.
I miss you. Look, before we get into the crux of the show, we are still on baby watch. You know, my stepdaughter Isla is any moment now expecting a baby. Selena and I thought it would have been the 18th, so we were wrong, and we're just waiting for the grandson to come. You know, but if
he needs the sun to come out so he can be born.
Well, he's obviously, we're now into Pisces, and I thought he would have going to be an Aquarian, but he's a Pisces, and as a Pisces, he's going to do it when he feels like it. They don't hurry into anything.
Nope.
Pisces don't anyway. So it's an interesting dynamic that Isla and her husband are Aries, and Dakota, who's going to be 4 this weekend, is a Pisces, and so we have like 2 Aries, 2 Pisces, and
yeah,
that is the epitome of aggressive and passive.
Yeah, I mean, at my house, we're 2 Virgos with 2 Aries, and so we're opposites as well.
That's going to be an interesting dynamic. Anyway, we are glad you're here. We're glad you're watching, and I want to say thank you to everybody that attended this past Sunday at the Newmont Center, and the psychics that were there, Mary Elizabeth, Kim Falcon, Sheena Metal. It was a great event, and Merlin made a surprise visit.
It was a great event. So many great messages that came through for everyone.
It was really cool, really cool. And this coming Saturday, keep in mind that Gary Stewart is in town from Arizona doing the Constellation Workshop, and I think it's pretty full. So if you are thinking about coming, check in and make sure that you can get in this coming Saturday. It's all day at our center, and constellation work is so fabulous in the way it's acted out, and it's based on the belief that we take on our ancestors' pain. So, you know, come check it out. It's going to be a good time. And then this coming Saturday, like 4:30 in the morning, we have a full moon, Virgo moon, with a Pisces sun. So that'll people will be somewhat sensitive, okay, with this one.
Oh, great.
Anyway, so as we sit here on a February rainy night, and for decades as we've watched TV and commercials, it has just been, you know, thrown at us that this is cold and flu season.
Right.
Well, who says?
Who says? They say.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical industry,
companies
right?
Marketing to us to buy their products, you know, and actually it goes back to even the doctors, get your flu shot. Right. You know, go get all these things so that when you get sick, you're ready. And it's really not all that true.
Well, why do we have to get sick?
Why do we have to get sick in the first place? Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
And what can we do to prevent ourselves from being sick or getting as sick as going to the doctor or ending up in an emergency room? You don't have to get that
Right.
way.
Of
Doesn't
course.
have to go there.
Well, when you think of prevention, it's really sort of like preventive maintenance. All right.
Yep.
Like, for instance, especially in today's modern day, not 20 years ago, that you get reminders that, like, your car, your 5,000 mile service is due.
Yeah.
And so you take it in around that time because
Sure.
those things that they do, those regular checkups and change the oil, change the filter and all that keeps the car from getting sick, makes it run better, right? So what about us?
Yeah, we have those for our bodies too. I mean, they like you to go, they, being the doctors, would like you to go for your annual checkup yearly. And I find that I don't go unless I'm really unwell. But if I'm doing the job of caring for myself in a way that is allowing for my body to stay ahead, then I don't need their help as often.
Right.
So things like rest, which is very underestimated. Did you know that people need, adults need about 7 to 9 hours a night of rest?
Is that true?
That's true. 9 hours. I thrive best on 8 to 9 hours. 7 hours is a minimum for me. I know you don't get that much rest. Yeah.
I go to bed at a decent time. Well, here's what I do. Okay. Not that anyone really cares. Audrey and I go to sleep earlier. We were, back in the day, the ones we would watch Jimmy Fallon or Jay Leno, whatever, back in the day. And then it's 12:30 and go to bed. And then you have to get up and get the kids ready for school. Now there's times that we'll get in bed at like 9:30. Okay.
Right.
But I will be awake by 5:30 if I do that.
Sure. But this is in a 24-hour period, so that could even include a rest period, like a nap in the middle of the day. I love naps personally.
Right.
It helps reset everything and allows you to move through the rest of the evening.
Right.
So, but the one that surprised me was for teenagers. Teenagers, 13 to 18, they need about 10 hours of sleep. I know people are like trying to wake up their teenagers when they're sleeping in late because they want them to do things, but really they need that amount of rest. And so I'm a firm believer in letting them sleep.
Why do they need that much rest?
Why do they need that much rest? So that their bodies can grow, so that they can stay well, and so that their immune system is building up in a way that allows them to go out there in the world and not get whatever sickness that their friends have. So,
well, and in school, I mean, we're really not supposed to affirm this, but a lot of times we say that when especially little kids go to school, they're like little petri dishes.
Oh, yeah.
They're just trading bacteria all over the place.
Yeah, I think the reason that happens a lot, too, is little kids, they haven't really mastered hand washing yet. So one of my favorite things to do is teach little kids how to wash their hands, because a little soap and water goes a long way when it comes to that.
Well, and how many times, I mean, I'm sure it's happened in your household that you tell your kids, especially when they're younger, like, go wash your hands before dinner. My hands aren't dirty.
Yeah, well, or my son's favorite is he turns the water on and stands there and then doesn't put his hands in the water, and I can hear that they never actually got wet in the first place. But yeah, so checking and making sure they're actually getting clean. So I like to teach young kids how to wash their hands, and showing them that if they sing the ABC song or the happy birthday song while they're washing with the soap and the water, they're getting it enough time under that soapy substance and under the water to actually be a good hand washing. So teaching them that early is really important.
A long time ago, a nurse told me that it's not just the soap and water. She said it's how rigorously.
Yep, and getting the backs and the fingers in between the fingers too.
Like the getting the dead skin.
And then the drying of the hands too with the towel. That's a whole other thing, because if there's anything left behind on your hands that you didn't rinse off in the water, wiping it off on that towel is the next best measure.
Okay, so since we're on this topic, so that's a towel. That's not a paper towel. Paper towel you throw away.
You could throw it away and be a single use, but we use towels at our house, and we use multiple towels. I change the towel throughout the day.
That's what I was going to ask.
It needs to be a clean towel. It's kind of important.
Right. Otherwise, other people
sharing the bacteria.
Families are supposed to share.
Right. So
it's interesting for you, Selena, because you do so much that's alternative.
I do.
And homeopathic and holistic and everything. Mm-hmm. But you spent how many years as a surgical tech in a hospital of Western medicine?
25 years in a hospital setting working in surgery. And so that's probably why I'm skilled at hand washing, because I used to have to do actual surgical scrubs on my hands all the way up to my elbows to get clean to go do surgery. But yeah, I decided that in the beginning when I chose that career that I would have to stay well. And I would have to continuously put myself around people that were unwell and still remain well, and make sure that my immune system was strong. So things like getting enough rest, making sure I'm hydrated, I'm eating healthy foods, whole foods, eating from the rainbow, fruits and vegetables, vitamins, those became part of my everyday life. And for my family as well. Even when they were resistant, I'm like, take this vitamin. You need probiotics.
I have a curious question as we're talking about health in the hospital and all that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, and I'm one that experienced this, say that they go into the hospital and they come out and have some kind of bacterial infection.
Sure, it's pretty common.
And that did happen to me a chunk of years ago when I had a procedure done. But the actual question is, of all those years that you worked in there, how often do the doctors and nurses get sick?
Well, they get sick, they just keep working. We don't exactly get time off in that world in the way that you would think. But it is a lot of mind over matter, and adjusting to your level of how sick really are you. And a lot of them, you would be surprised, are really into healthy choices as well. Some of my teammates in the operating room were into things like doTERRA and vitamins and learning about the gut biome and preventative care as well. A lot of them use essential oils, and so they're more informed than you think. It's really interesting to come across. So, and then there's someone like me who's sort of the fringe. I'm more of the fringe character. I take it a step further, and then I believe in energetic healing as well. So things like crystal healing and Reiki and hypnotherapy. So teaching them the power of their mind and their body in addition to the preventative maintenance part is important. Yeah, people can program themselves to get sick. Sure. I mean, we look at the and I've had this happen with adults that I've worked on, whether in hypnotherapy or energy work, where they have a psychosomatic programming in there, like I didn't do my homework. Oh, I've got a stomach ache. I can't go to school today. Right, absolutely. And actually, an interesting thing happens when you do that in your body. When you're running that script over and over again of disease, malaise, illness, it takes like 3 to 5 times of a positive statement to change that one statement that you said even one time about, I'm not feeling so well. So a way to switch that actually would be to say, I'm healing. Right. Because that affirms that your body maybe is going through something, but it's healing. It's in the transitional period where we're getting better. Surely. And in that class, Intentional Healing, that you've taken with me, a lot of the lecture is about the state of being. Healing is the state of being. Absolutely. So it's how we see ourselves in the moment. Not going to heal or will heal. I'm in a state of healing. One thing about the power of the mind, and Audrey would know this because she's witnessed it, is that when we went through a period when we were selling our house years ago, and I was furious with the real estate agent, I said those magic words, "You're making my blood pressure go through the roof." Darn. Ah, yes. Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, but if I got it down and it's fine, and every time I have it taken now, I'm like
120 over 78 or something like that. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah. I think about, too, during the time that there was the shutdown and everyone was dealing with COVID, there was a good 2 years there where all the healthcare workers still went to work, and our immune systems were very strong. In the beginning, very few people got sick. And I mean, I knew right away I was going to stay well. And every day that was my mantra, when I was walking in, to maintain my health. And it got me through for a really long time. It wasn't until actually my teenager brought home a sickness. It wasn't even at work that I got sick.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. No, and it's like, and we talked about that at the event on Sunday, that when we hit that moment, our center never shut down.
Yep.
I just said, Fortunately, we were deemed an essential business.
Sure.
As mental health, but no, I wasn't shutting down.
Yeah, I kept seeing my clients on the side for hypnotherapy, and we just were respectful of each other and made sure to communicate if we weren't in a healthful state, and so that we weren't in a small room together. But, we made it through.
Of course.
And I relied a lot on doTERRA products to get me through, so that when we were having symptoms, we could manage those symptoms so that they weren't so exasperated and causing us, really hard times. So things like essential oil treatments every day on our spine and our feet helped reduce symptoms so that we didn't, crash and burn.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you said that when we started that the first level of prevention is rest.
Absolutely. Sleep, hydration, nutrition.
Right. Okay. So now let's go into, and I know you've got notes there on, let's talk about vitamins. Supplements. Okay. So what is, look, there are so many different supplements out there.
There really are, and I discovered that a lot of people don't even take a daily multivitamin, and that's like the basics.
Right.
Even for your children. And children often have fickle diets, and they don't want to eat exactly all the foods on the spectrum that they should be eating. Vegetables are a question for a lot of little kids, so making sure that they get the proper nutrients into their body through supplementation is really important. So doTERRA has some great products. There is one specifically that I use for my son that is a green protein shake type additive, and you can add it with some fruit, and then I know he's getting his daily vegetable allowance without eating, say, like a salad or what he would need to do to have a balanced meal.
Is there a lot of vitamin B in that?
I'm not sure if there's vitamin B in it. That's a good question, but he does take an additional vitamin, and he takes a probiotic every day.
Good. Yeah. Well, I know that when it comes to, we associate colds and flu with you need more vitamin C, but the B vitamins, the B complexes, are the ones that calm the nervous system. And a lot of the leafy green vegetables have a lot of vitamin B and iron in them.
Yep.
So if there was, say, because nobody wants to take 20 supplements in one sitting.
Well, you can spread them out. You don't have to take them all at once. I like to take some in the morning and then some later in the afternoon. And then in the evening, if I feel like my nervous system needs regulation so that I can calm down to go to sleep, then I have my evening supplements that I take to help me relax.
Sure.
And really often what I find is that if I am staying on top of my normal vitamin regimen and care, that I don't require a lot of things in the evening, I can easily fall asleep just sniffing some oils.
So what would you recommend if a person, say they were going to take 4 or 5 supplements, different supplements a day? What's optimum for prevention? For prevention,
well, for doTERRA, in the doTERRA world, we have the lifelong vitality supplements, and there are actually 3 different things in them, and one is a food complex, one is an essential oil complex, and then one is the vitamins. Now, this is something that I slept on in the beginning of doTERRA. I didn't get this at first, and I was really missing out, because even in times of need, when I've taken a half a dose, I felt better. and
Right.
making sure your cells are regenerating properly when you're in a state of malaise is really important too. So this helps kind of help you go through that.
And what's in here?
Well, there's 3 different products. There's the Alpha CRS, the E Omega, and the Micro Complex. One is a vitamin complex, one is an essential oil complex, and the other is a food nutrient supplement. So if you were missing out on the proper nutrients in your food, you would be getting them by taking that.
Wonderful.
So yeah, this box is a 30-day supply, and there also is individual servings that you can get for to go if you needed to have those like in your purse.
Well, we're definitely in sort of a let's just call it the grab and go lifestyle,
Sure.
where people have a smoothie or some kind of powdered green drink.
Yes, we have a powdered green drink. That was the one that I was mentioning to you. The one thing, though, that I would also suggest, that's a great one, and I know you and Audrey are familiar with, is the On Guard supplement, and that is called the Protective Blend. And basically, this is really great to help you protect you against becoming ill. And if you are going to be in a situation, like if I'm going to be in a large crowd of people or go out in the day and be around a lot of people, I'm going to take this to kind of prevent myself from illness. But if you're actively not feeling well, I double the dose and take this internally, and it's a soft gel pill. Now, if you wanted to give it to your kid, there is a very small beadlet of it that is like a 1-drop serving, which is a tiny, tiny little beadlet for a child. Or you could put on the oil version on them in a diluted form. And it does come, the child's version is called Stronger, the Protective Blend. So it's missing the hot oils. And then there is it in a roll-on as well, which would be good for adults.
Well, the essential oil On Guard, I have a diffuser right on my desk at work, and I rotate the oils that I put into the air in a full day at work, and On Guard is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I love On Guard. I like to mix it with a little bit of tangerine or wild orange to sort of brighten it a little bit, because it is sort of a clovey, cinnamon type smell, which is nice. I like that. But if you want it to be a little more bright, you could add a little citrus to it. So,
well, my diffuser, again, maybe too much information. It has several things in it at this point. Like there's
cocktail.
There's wild orange, there's Breathe, there's On Guard, there's Spearmint. Yeah. And it just makes this lovely cocktail, so to speak.
You can create your own custom blend in the diffuser, which is a great thing to do. I get really creative with my blends. And the great thing about the diffuser is, so you're getting that aromatherapy benefit, which is the smell, the aromatic value of it. It smells good in here, but also it's helping clear the air and clean it, so that if there is any floating germs in the air, it's kind of like canceling it out, so you're not breathing that in. Well,
and we're in a big office building, and the air ducts are running through all through. So
we're sharing it with the whole building.
Yeah, exactly. but the thing that I learned from you, and I'll say I do this, but I want you to explain this. My pitcher of water and water glass is near my diffuser, so as it goes up, it falls back down in the water I'm drinking.
Yeah, and it's very tasty.
But explain why that's so good.
Well, it's helping you get the oils inside of your body, because these are like plant medicines. For me too, with the On Guard, actually, if my throat is irritated or I feel something in my chest, I like to put a couple of drops on that on honey. So instead of taking like a cough medicine over the counter, that's my cough medicine. You could even add a drop of eucalyptus to that if you wanted to get fancy. Frankincense. There is a whole protocol called Flume, which is Flume. Yeah, it's like frankincense, lemon, oregano. I forget the other one, and melaleuca, which is also tea tree oil. And you can actually eat those if you wanted to on honey. But those are great in a diffuser or in a roll-on to use while you're not feeling well as well. Well,
a couple weeks ago when I didn't do the show, I went a couple days where I just didn't feel great. Okay, and I had to slow down, and I used the oils, and one, and I see it there, is take a hot shower, and while your pores are open, you put oregano oil on the bottoms of your feet and put your socks on and go to bed.
Yeah, and that's really great as like nature's antiviral. The only thing with oregano that we know for sure is it's a hot oil. It's going to be warm, so you want to be aware of that. And you probably should use a carrier oil with it, especially if you have any dry skin or cracked skin. So making sure you're moisturized and hydrated first is important. But the pores of your feet are the largest pores in your body. That's why it's a good place to put oils, because it absorbs in that area well.
For years now at our place, and we have our candles and our own oils and all that, but we actually make a candle that's lavender eucalyptus.
I love that one.
Because one is an antiviral and one is antibacterial. And it's the eucalyptus that's antibacterial. Sure. And I saw this study years ago where they put under a microscope, they put the germs there, and when they put the eucalyptus oil, the germs basically ran away.
Yeah, that's the same with oregano. Melaleuca is another one they don't like. And so, it's a great one to use. Now, the thing about lavender is it's a synergistic oil. So it creates an oil synergy, which empowers the other oils to work even more so. So if you need your oils to have that little extra boost, add a little lavender to it to help boost it. Even if, people think lavender, it's for relaxing and calming, and that's great, but it's a real powerhouse oil to boost the other energies of the other oils.
And even in, my mentors that were more of the magic of the oils and not just the aromatherapy, one of the things that they told me like way back when is be careful with lavender because it can be a twister. And the mall stores say, you've had a rough day, go take a lavender bath, but you really need to temper the lavender with something else because it could actually make you more aggravated.
Sure, it could, Well, and interesting, all oils have a different effect on different people. Some people, according to their disposition, may not like lavender. I know when I'm going through any kind of head tension, lavender is not for me. I have to go straight peppermint. Now, they suggest wintergreen as an oil for head tension. I can't even stand wintergreen. It has to be just peppermint and peppermint only. Sometimes even deep blue is too much for me. So it's really about finding what works for you. In our family, we have our favorites, of course. And one of the great benefits of the doTERRA oils is they have things for kids, like the kids set. Now, the kids set is really great because it has a little bit of everything in there. Thinker for your brain function, calmer to help the kids calm down, rescuer, which is sort of like the breathe oil, stronger, which would be like on guard, tamer is for tummies, brave is for brave feelings, and steady, which would be like forgive. So these are all great for kids because they're already diluted. They can use them on themselves. And you don't have to worry about, making up little roller bottles for them to use. So, if they're not feeling well emotionally, or if they're not feeling well because they're coming down with something, the oils are ready to go in this little container. And
it's so
can
cute.
get them themselves. Yeah, it is really cute. It's a blessing in my family. We love this. I like to give these as gifts to families because it gets used for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. So, what else do you look at for prevention? Let's say the person's, because I want to talk about prevention, then I want to talk about, what if when the person does get sick? But let's say with prevention.
Well,
how else?
A big one in our business is making sure you have your emotions regulated, right? Not living in fear. That's a huge one.
Yeah.
And fear is trying to get dished out to you at every turn. It seems like, you turn on the TV and they're giving you these fearful things immediately, shows and commercials, and even like you're saying with the whole mentality of flu season, I'm gonna get sick, and then they hold on to that and they're in this fear state, which causes causes your body to have a weakened immune system right off the bat. So turn off that television, make sure you're not watching those commercials. I know now a lot of shows, like networks, you can choose to opt out of commercials.
That's right.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah, the streaming services.
Yeah, nobody should be seeing that, especially if you're suggestible. You're getting it put right into your subconscious.
Oh, there's one of the streaming services, and Audrey would know this, that, it's all those specialized drugs for conditions.
Oh, yes.
It's like, oh my Lord.
Yeah, specialized drugs, and then they tell you all the list of the side effects that could happen, and then you have to think about which is worse, the condition or the side effect.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I would rather not.
Not, exactly. Yeah. So when it comes to, this time of year, and especially for people that live where 3-4 months it's really cold. So where is the myth or the wives' tale that say, if you go outside in the cold, you're going to get sick?
Yeah, you would have to already be sick.
Right.
Yeah, you'd have to already be sick and then go out in the cold, and it might make your symptoms worse. But then there's this whole psychology or belief system surrounding like the ice baths and how it actually helps your immune system. So I know a lot of people are really into
cold
that.
Cold
plunges, exactly. Yep. So, and then we go back to, what do you believe? Do you live in a state of fear or not? Are you willing to try some alternative things like a cold plunge to help strengthen your immune system? I've tried the ice showers. Obviously, it's not my favorite in the winter, but you can even do it for just a few minutes at the end of your hot shower, and you get the benefit. It's very revitalizing, actually.
Well, we do know that we lose our heat through the top of our head.
Yes.
Okay? And so if you live where it's cold, if you wear a hat, you're going to hold on to your body heat.
Right.
But we also do know that when you take a very hot shower, your pores open up. And if you go out in the cold, okay, then all that cold air is going to get inside the body.
Yeah, it shrinks it all back up to all your pores.
Right. So finishing with cooler water is actually a good idea.
It is great, actually. In the beginning, when I first started doing it, I thought, how am I going to stand that? But now I'm used to it, and I realized the benefit. Definitely, there's a benefit to it. So, but one thing that we do with doTERRA is in the preventative is, and we've talked about this on previous shows, is making sure you have excellent gut health. So making sure that you do those detoxes regularly where you are sort of going through that detox point and then reintroducing a good microbiome bacteria like the PB Restore products. So we have them, PB Restore, which would be for the adult, for your gut, and then we do have the PB Assist, which is great for kids, and these are really tasty. They're taste like little pixie sticks. But if you needed supplemental probiotics throughout your day, you could grab this even if you've had your PB Restore at the beginning of the day.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm not the only one that would ask this. So let's say that, like me, I can go for hours and I'm at my desk working with people, and it's, and especially with the kind of work that I do and you do, it's not ideal when you're running energy like that to have caffeine. Okay.
Right.
But what do you have for someone like me that I can put in my water? So say like at 11 o'clock in the morning as I'm with a client, I can replenish.
Well, there's a lot of different things that you could put in your water for replenish. One product that I don't have here is Metapower, which is a newer product, and that would really help you with an energy boost, and it's all essential oils. I don't even have those products here yet, so I'll have to show them to you another time.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And so Meta, M-E-T-A?
Yes, Metapower. And there is a supplement that is for hydration that will allow you electrolytes and a little bit of an enhanced feeling. It gives you sort of a little boost. There's a soft gel of it, there's a water additive as well, and there's an oil.
So, again, with people, we'll run into the same thing I run into. So, on some days I can drink more water than others.
Yes.
Because I just can't be running out of session, running down the hall 6-8 times.
Right.
All right?
Why not? I do. Do you know how much water you're supposed to be drinking every day?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. How many?
It's not how many, it's ounces.
How much?
Yeah,
11 to 13 cups. That's a lot of water.
Well, I'm supposed to. Ideally, it's you take your body weight, divide it in half,
Yes.
and it's that many ounces. So I should be drinking about 90 to 95 ounces of water
exactly.
a day.
And it's surprising when people find that out. They're completely unaware. And I know many people walking around dehydrated. You know, I get a lot of clients like that. You're not feeling well because you're dehydrated.
Right.
Let's hydrate your body in the first place.
Well, here's something that is, can be a little scary. That if you don't drink enough water, that dehydration is one of the main causes of stroke.
Yes.
So it's really important that you hydrate.
And especially at nighttime. Often people get up and they're dehydrated in the middle of the night, and that's when their strokes happen, just headed to the bathroom.
Right.
So like even before you head to the bathroom at night, taking a sip of water is a great way to kind of help that process.
Well, there's something that Audrey and I put in our water that's not one of your products, and
a chlorophyll?
No, it's the cherry apothic that Purium has, and a splash of that, and I will drink that down, and there'll be residue in there. Then I'll get another glass of water, on top of it. So before bed, I may drink 24 to 30 ounces of water.
That's good. That's good. A lot of people don't do that before bedtime, and then they wake up so thirsty.
Yeah.
I never stop drinking. I love water.
Right.
Well, and then there's the people who don't like the taste of water, so they need the additives.
Right. Well, and sometimes, with some people, it's not that they don't like the taste. It's just sometimes people get bored.
They do, and for that, I say try tea, because tea is another way to get herbs and plant medicine inside your body with a flavor, and it enhances your water.
Right. Exactly.
And that leads me to another preventative thing that we do at our house. Well, when we drink a lot of tea in the first place, green tea, but slippery elm bark tea is really great for you when your throat or your chest is upset. And my kids love it, and so we drink that often.
Oh, good. Good. It sounds like, in just the time that you've been over the last year and a half or whatever it is that you've been at the Newmont Center, that doTERRA keeps coming out with product after product after product.
They come out with a lot of products. They want to keep people well, and they want to keep them excited about trying new things to stay well. So there is a huge part of it where it's science, and they have all these people on their team creating these products according to what the new science is that's coming out.
Sure.
Even in the On Guard line, we have the throat drops, which are awesome.
I like those.
There's a hand wash, there's a hand sanitizer. Now we have wipes that you can use for cleaning, so that you're not touching things like bleach wipes or wipes that have some kind of other chemical in them. There's a laundry detergent of it as well. So, basically any kind of thing that you need to live that natural lifestyle or health-minded lifestyle, doTERRA has something for it.
And the On Guard, I actually have chewables.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the little beadlets.
Not the beadlets. They're like a little...
Oh, you like the chewable tabs, yes. Yeah. It's interesting with those tabs. I forget about them, but yeah, they're a great one. That's another great way for kids to take them, because sometimes they can't swallow that soft gel pill. My son is almost 10, and he just started swallowing it, and he likes it because he knows it's going to help him. But the chewable is great, too. There's also a digestive chew for the... digestive products as well. I'm so used to the soft gel, that's what I've taken for so long.
Sure.
But there are chewables that you can choose to take. And then, of course, the breathe drops, which are so popular. They're the respiratory drops. Now, I don't know about you, but I find cough drops to be full of sugar. And even though
store-bought cough drops, yes.
Even though they are supposed to help you feel better when you have some kind of respiratory distress, you're getting a sugar rush too, which we all know that sugar weakens your immune system. So especially in times when you're not feeling well, you don't want to be having sugar. And when there are times when you're around a lot of people, having the sugar choice is not the best idea, because it is going to put you back a few steps.
Right. Look, there are so many things that we have just sort of done by rote. We've automatically, and we're changing. We're in the process of changing culture right now. Because, there's all the typical store-bought cereals and all the things that, and we've been educated, eat this cereal, it's good for you, and,
Well, we were lied to. Our food pyramid is a scam.
Right, of course.
We know that's not even proper nutrition. Another aspect of the things that we do at my home, and in addition to the regular maintenance products like, the On Guard or taking vitamins or making sure you have the good gut health, is we do a lot of energy work. And so when someone isn't feeling well, or I kind of just see it on them, I'm doing Reiki on them right away. I'm working on them, and I'm putting some oils on their back. And through this one protocol called the Symphony of Cells protocol, you can literally, there's a book, you can look up whatever anyone's going through emotionally, or if there's some kind of illness, and there's going to be about 10 oils and a protocol for you to apply it to them on their spine, on their chest, their feet. There's even ones to apply over the liver or the heart, and then obviously you're going to be smelling it as well, and that has got us through a lot of times. There's also the aroma touch technique, which is where you're putting oils on your spine as well, and I have found that doing that with the Reiki has gotten us through some really challenging times. So we use that regularly, and I actually offer that as one of my services, is the aroma Reiki.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. How do you feel about castor oil?
Castor oil is a good oil, but a lot of it's in plastic. Good castor oil is going to be in glass, because we know that oils leach plastic, so you have to be aware of the container. Right. So you would want it to be glass. People love castor oil for things like hair growth, but one thing that I suggest castor oil to people all the time is making a castor oil pack.
Right.
And you can use that in your thyroid area, over your liver for a detox. You can use it over your belly if you're going through something, and those are pretty readily available, castor oil packs. You can even add essential oils to those too. I know I've done that a lot for myself when I'm going through female stuff. So it's helpful. Yeah,
it's being recommended a lot nowadays.
Yes.
And I think there's a generational resistance to it, because if anybody ever took castor oil internally, it is one of the worst tasting things on the face of the planet.
It doesn't taste well. I have tasted it. It was a thing that was suggested to me to start labor, actually, and boy, that wasn't fun to taste. I don't suggest it.
No, exactly.
But it works great topically.
Yeah, and that's what we're hearing a lot about it, is to put it on a soft cloth or something like the same material as a flannel shirt.
Yep, flannel is a good thing, and you can even apply heat, like a heating pad over the top of that with a little bit of something between it, so you don't get the castor oil on your heating pad.
So what do we do for the person that now they're at the point where they go, I'm starting to get a sniffle?
Okay, right, get a sniffle. All right, well, I'm going to tell them right away, let's put some oils on.
Right.
At least that's what we're going to do at my house. And I start with frankincense first. Frank is my man. So frankincense on the spine and on the feet and even on the chest. And then I'm going to go for On Guard next, and probably look up a Symphony of Cells protocol in my book and start putting oils on.
So what does frankincense oil do? We know frankincense because it's biblical. Okay.
Sure, it's the king of all oils.
Right.
Well, it is an oil that passes the blood-brain barrier pretty quickly, so it's affecting your cellular membrane fast. So it's being absorbed into your body very quickly, and it just makes you feel really good. I love the smell. It's sort of woodsy, but it is one that you can also put on your thumb and put on the roof of your mouth if you're having head tension. So it works that way very quickly. It helps regulate your nervous system fast. And like, again, it's the king of all oils, so it's another high vibrational oil.
Right.
The two highest vibrational oils, and when I say vibrational, I mean like their energetic frequency is frankincense and rose. So I'm going to go for those high vibe oils first.
Sure. Selena, in all the years you've been doing this, historically, how far back do the use of oils go?
To the Bible.
Right.
Back into the Bible, they were gifts, and
so a few thousand years.
Yeah, a few thousand, right?
Right.
Maybe even before.
Right.
I know that there are resins that were found in the Egyptian tombs, so they may have been oils at one point too.
Well, because of the things that I get that are burnable,
Yes.
metaphysically and ritualistically, I have myrrh resin.
Right. I have myrrh resin too, and frankincense, and I still burn those as well.
Right.
So the only problem with those is then we're getting the aromatic effect. It's affecting our energy because it's around us, the smoke. But this is great because we get to put it right in our body and to help us speed up our healing process.
All right, so now we go from prevention to the person that's like, I've got a sniffle. Mm-hmm. Now we go to the person who's calling you on the phone. Selena, I'm really sick. What am I going to do?
Well, first of all, I'm hoping that they have some products already.
Right.
And that they're not waiting until they're all the way in a problem to come to me so I can advise them what to find in their own medicine cabinet already on hand. So I'm going for the On Guard. I'm going for turmeric. That curcuminoid, is a high dose of that is great for inflammation. So I'm looking for that, which I don't have up here, but we do have as well. And it has the oil and it has a powder form in it. So it's a very great dose. 2 of those, 2 On Guards, and then I'm probably putting frankincense on the spine, oregano on the feet. And then if it's like respiratory, we're going for eucalyptus and breathe products. So, let's not wait until you are already ill to want your products. Let's get them ahead of time so that you're ready to go if that happens.
When we talk about going from prevention to when the person is sick, there is this misnomer, and you and I have talked about this off camera, where when a person has a cold and the flu symptoms, they're coughing and all that, I'm sick. But at that, they're symptomatic, but they're not sick at that point, right? So explain that. Is like, when did the sickness really start?
Yeah, well, probably a week before.
Okay.
They probably went through some sort of stressful situation or were exposed to something, and then, here we go, the chain reaction. But even during that period, how they care for themselves is very important. So, say you were exposed to something, you may not actually get ill if you are resting and hydrating, eating well, laying off the sugar, and taking your vitamins. Your body's immune system has a shield, basically. It's like a superpower, and so you don't go into that whole cycle.
So when a person is symptomatic, coughing and sneezing, like, none of us want to be coughed on and sneezed on, right? But
it happens, though.
but when, and by the way, just because someone coughs or sneezes, that doesn't mean you're going to get sick.
Sure doesn't.
But what about a week earlier, there's no symptoms, and as you and I are both saying that the person is already sick, they're just not symptomatic.
Yeah.
Are they contagious when they're non-symptomatic because they're stressed out?
It depends, right? It depends on a lot of factors. I can't really say, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you to take better care of yourself so that it doesn't progress. And I can tell you what's worked for us is to maintain rest. I'm a big advocate on going to sleep. I shut my whole house down. Good night, kids. And it may be 7 p.m. sometimes, but I can tell that they're going through something, and that if I don't knock them down into the dark zone and make them go to sleep, that the next morning they might manifest something that is not in their best interest, like a cough or a sore throat. And often just doing that and putting some oils on, the next day they wake up good to go and they don't actually develop something.
When it comes to, you and I do similar work, and when it comes to the energy work that we both do, you also do Reiki, you're a hypnotherapist. Sometimes people wait until they've got a big problem to come in and see us. But what would you say, because this is a question that I get asked about the energy work that I do, but what do you tell people? Because if the client says, I'd love the session today, when should I come back? Not hypnotherapy, which is weekly.
Like energy work?
Right.
Well, it depends, because they're going to go back into their homes again and into their businesses and be re-subjected to whatever it is that they were going through previously. So often I need them to come back at least once a month, if not more. There are some people that need to come every 2 weeks in the beginning. But monthly is a good time to take care of themselves in that way. But the thing about Reiki is they could come every week for Reiki, because it's subtle energy movement, and we could all use that almost every single day. I use Reiki on myself nearly every day. That way I don't have to get into a position where energy is stuck somewhere. And I'm so challenged, I'm calling Nick, help.
Well, you also with Reiki could work on a different area of the body.
Yep.
Each time they come in, too.
Absolutely. But really, it's all about making sure that all that sort of places where energy might be stuck, it just gets moved through.
Yeah, and that's and when you say get stuck, a lot of times when people mentally, emotionally stagnate, that's when the energetic system is not moving the way it should. Yeah. And that's when energetically we're more prone to attack.
Yeah, that, and their body doesn't know how to remain in a state where they can be healing, and then they're like, what do I do? Help.
Well, it's being in a managed state of calm.
Yes.
And just because a person is sitting there quietly, that doesn't mean that they're calm.
No, not necessarily.
It's an energy that's carried.
Yeah, it's flow.
Right.
It's flow. So reminding their body to have flow is actually what that is.
What else can you share with us?
What else can I share with you? Well, the one thing I wanted to show you was the Symphony of Cells book. So, you can Google this and buy this book for yourself. So if you do use oils, this is a must-have in your home. And it is written by someone who has been using doTERRA for years. But you could literally go through and pick a protocol. For example, there's an intro protocol. So keep it really simple, right? Muscle aches, allergies, breathing, the common cold, if you had a little flu, just that little bit of oils. That's only 8 oils, and it's putting it on your spine, smelling it, and putting it on your feet. And in the front of the book, it does explain how those should be applied and using a carrier oil. But I mean, it even gets into some pretty intense things in this book about the nervous system, things for neurological disorders, lymphatic system. I mean, at one point or another, most people have something from this book going on that we could pick some oils from and try. And then in the back, if you don't have your full oil arsenal yet, there is a whole section on oil substitutes.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so if you were to say, I don't have time, I could say, oh, well, there's 3 other oils that you could be picking from that you might have instead of that oil as a substitute. So, yeah, this is like, I live by this book. And he does teach a training course on this protocol, but I never had to do that. The book was enough for my family, and I use these protocols on my clients as well. So if you were to come to get Reiki and you were going through something or not feeling well, I could select one of these oil protocols and put oils on your spine and feet as well.
I think that one thing that people run into is the simplicity. we're in such a microwave society right now that people want to know that I want to do this and this and this, and I don't want to do all these things. So what they've done in there is made it as simple as possible.
Simple. It's like a recipe card.
Right, exactly.
And your doctor would give you a prescription and say, take these 5 pills or go buy all this at the pharmacy. We don't have to do that. We can choose these 5 oils and support our bodies naturally and more subtly.
We have a few minutes remaining, and there's an area that we didn't touch on yet because we talked about gut health and respiratory, oral health.
Oh, interestingly enough, I was going to talk about that, how important it is that you are making sure your teeth are in good health, right? So, dental checkups are one part of it, but the brushing, the flossing, and the mouthwash. So there is an On Guard toothpaste and mouthwash, and it's very tasty. A lot of toothpastes out there are that minty flavor, and they do have fluoride in them, which we all know is not good for you.
Right.
So my family has eliminated fluoride in our water and in our toothpaste. So the On Guard products are supportive of your oral health without requiring the fluoride in them, and they taste so good as well.
And I want to say this. Look, I have gone from so many toothpaste to another to another.
Haven't we all?
The charcoal one and all this. And I must say that since we started using the On Guard toothpaste and mouthwash, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a big hit, and I think that because it has the clove in it, it's that little bit of clove that's also enhancing the health of your mouth as well. So I've noticed since I've been using it, I am not having cavity issues. And I had horrible cavity issues before using regular toothpaste. So that's remarkable to me. So every time I go to the dentist, I'm getting that x-ray and he's saying, no cavities. It's really exciting, actually.
And I want to say, too, because everybody perceives clove the way they do. And that the On Guard toothpaste and mouthwash is not that, heavy hit of clove where it's so spicy.
It's a little more cinnamony, orange with clove. Yeah,
right. It's a great taste.
Yeah, and you guys haven't even tried yet the Supermint toothpaste. So there is actually a new toothpaste that they came out with this last year. It's Supermint, and I've given you the Supermint beadlet, so it's like spearminty, pepperminty.
I use those.
Yeah, so there's that toothpaste as well, and I'm wondering if they're going to have a mouthwash for that too. But we're so happy with our On Guard that we just keep using it.
So what she's talking about, the Supermint beads, is that because I talk a lot and you get dry mouth. So they're breath beads.
They're beadlets for your breath. There's peppermint, there's Supermint. There is also an On Guard one as well. But those are great for someone like me who I used to chew gum, and the dentist said no more chewing gum.
I don't remember the last time I chewed gum.
Yeah,
seriously.
And even the mints, a lot of them have sugar or the other poison aspartame that nobody should have.
That's right.
So we've switched out for the beadlets.
Yeah, and I keep them right there on my desk every once in a while, just and let it.
They're tasty.
Right, and gives you a fresh mouth. But I've always been known for having a fresh mouth. So.
Well, I'll have to ask your wife.
Fresh. Your line is so extensive, and at some point we have to do another doTERRA event.
Absolutely.
So people understand that this is good for you, and it's not the idea of we're trying to oversell or jam it down people's throats. No. It's like this is a great alternative to typical supplements, things like that. These aren't luxuries; these are necessities.
Sure, and we've changed out most of our items that would have come from the pharmacy, CVS, and otherwise for these natural products, which have helped us stay well and even in times of need. So instead of going to CVS and loading up on all these things where there's crazy ingredients and chemicals and sugar, we've chosen a more natural approach.
Well, I will say that, a couple weeks ago when I wasn't feeling great, my recovery time was
Yes.
very rapid
Yeah.
using this. Well, we must rapidly go. Okay. Thank you, Selena, as always.
Thank you, Nick, for having me.
You're welcome. We always love having you on the show because you always have something new and different to present. And if people want to get a hold of you, Selena, how do they do that? They have questions of you.
You can have my phone number. It's 310-849-0791. And I am at the Newmont Center for Balanced Living. You can find me there. And in the comment section of Facebook, I will post some more information about doTERRA so that if you wanted to have some of these products, you could. There's also my email, which is selenacolp@gmail.com, SALENACOLP@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Yeah, and do reach out to her. And if you have any questions of any of us at the Newmont Center, that's 818-865-8770. Keep in mind the events that we have coming up. Go to newmontcenter.net to the calendar, look at what we're offering, and hope to see you there soon. And thank you again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you very much for watching this evening. I will see you next week back here at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Good night, everyone.